New Vegas is jam-packed with perks, 88 regular ones to be exact. Some are good, some are bad, some are slept on criminally. These are 5 underrated perks in Fallout New Vegas, just in my opinion.
Ring a ding, baby.
At number 5 on this list is Educated. This perk requires level 4 and 4 intelligence and snagging, so an early game perk. This simply gives you 2 extra skill points every time you level up, making this perk the best taken at the earliest possible level, so 4. But level 6 or 8 can be fine as well, depending on how high you're planning to level up your character. I pretty much always take Educated at level 4, it's a staple in my playthroughs, as level 4 largely doesn't really have amazing perks, depending on where you're allocating your skill points. But this perk squeezes out so much potential for possible builds that you can craft. Let's get edumacated. If you take Educated at level 4 and level to the max level of 50, that's 92 skill points in a tree. It's basically 100 in a skill tree off of one perk. It's a gift that keeps giving. The irony with Educated is, even if you don't max out your character or even really go to a high level at all, this perk is still extremely substantial. Let me explain. Nowadays, I mostly do permadeath runs where I run on the honor code of if I die in the game, I die in real life. You know, permadeath. I usually do either the NCR storyline,
patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter,
or Yes Men with some side faction stuff mixed in, leaving me on average anywhere from around level 14 to 18. The whole reason I'm ranting here is because even though I'm finishing the game and I'm doing the Hoover Dam battle finale at a pretty low level, if I don't die, Educated still helps me so much in the early game in meeting typical skill checks I like to get out of the way, like 50 repair to make weapon repair kits, 90 speech plus 10 from the naughty nightwear, so I don't have to go toe to toe with the Giga Chad, Leggett Lanius.
You won't escape me.
And I don't have to worry about General Oliver, I think his name is Oliver Lee. I don't have to worry about his dumbass hit squad at the very end of the game.
Fatality.
Educated is just a perk that I really never regret taking. I rarely pass it up unless I'm doing some niche build, and it's why it's here on this list. Moving on to number 4. Living Anatomy is a perk most people don't even really know exists. I've seen other content creators' videos that were using this perk, and it caused a high volume of people asking, "What mod is this, bro?" And this isn't a mod, it's just Living Anatomy. It requires 70 in medicine, probably a reason this perk has been so phantom to many, as I feel medicine is largely an ignored skill tree by many, and level 8. Although this isn't a I need to get it, dump all my points into medicine kind of perk, this is a great quality of life perk. What Living Anatomy does is make enemies' health and DT or damage threshold, basically armor, visible to you on the enemy's nameplate, with the added passive bonus of plus 5% damage to humans and non-feral ghouls. The non-feral ghouls damage is like whatever, it's super niche and it doesn't matter at all, 99.99999% of the time, but the flat damage bonus to humans is solid against late game bosses like Leggett Lanius, Ulysses, just dealing with tough patrols when you pissed off Caesar's Legion, or whatever other tough human you might run into in your playthrough. This perk is a fun, kind of like unique spin on Bloody Mess, if that makes sense. I mean, if you really look at them, both are kind of similar in some ways, where they both have a plus 5% damage bonus, but Bloody Mess gives all damage to weapons and blows up your enemies like spontaneous human combustion, versus Anatomy's plus 5 to humans and non-feral ghouls. Plus 5% to humans also does stack with Bloody Mess, so that's also a bonus. And of course, it gives the label of enemies' health and DT. As much glazing and deriding I'm doing for this perk, it's really not a must-have at all, especially when you know the ins and outs of this game regarding enemies' DT levels and just general difficulty in dispatching foes. But there's something I just kind of love about this perk in terms of just the quality of life that it gives. playing on hardcore, I also like to keep my survival and medicine relatively high, with it kind of being a dump stat. I like to at least keep them, decent so I can maximize stim packs and food. And of course, also the option for certain perks, like this diamond in the rough. Moving on to number 3. Rapid Reload is one I kind of struggled to put on this list, as it's kinda underrated and kind of acknowledged at the same time. And although this list of quote-unquote underrated perks is highly subjective, as it's not like I have my heart on the pulse of the entire community, as that's not really possible, but I feel like it deserves to be here, as this perk is simply just great. It requires level 2, 30 guns, and 5 agility, so a very low level perk indeed, with very minimal requirements, especially if you're running any sort of gun build. This perk simply increases reload speed of guns by 25%. It's just fantastic.
Fuck, man.
For any slow animation reloading weapon like loading gate weapons, i.e. revolvers, think things like the 357 and 44 magnums, lever action shotguns, anything like that gains a massive increase in its DPS due to the sped up animation of your reloads. But that also makes fast reloading weapons even more busted. This perk, plus another perk that we're going to be talking about on this list, turns Thump Thump, the unique grenade rifle, into a beast. Rapid Reload, however, bugs from time to time for whatever reason. It sometimes decreases your weapon reload speed by 25%, and this is super noticeable when it does happen. But it's very simple to fix, and the easiest way to do this is simply unequip your weapon and re-equip, or switch to another weapon, then switch back and you're good to go. For me, this bug does, however, happen a decent amount. It doesn't happen, it's not like super rare, but it's also not super prevalent either, being a minor inconvenience most of the time. It's just a straightforward perk with a minor annoying con. It's somewhat niche based on your weapon loadout, but it's still a solid perk overall. And Rapid Reload for me it's not, but it kinda is what I like to call a noob trap perk. A noob trap perk is a perk that looks good at face value when you have limited knowledge of the game, but can be not as good as it seems on the surface. I feel like Rapid Reload has the veneer of a noob trap perk, but it actually ends up being good, if that makes sense. It's a perk you'd kind of look at if you never played this game before and be like, well, faster reloads on my weapons are always good. And yes, noob, you are correct. Moving on to number 2. Heave ho, requires just level 2, 5 strength, and 30 explosives in acquiring. With the Rapid Reload reperk, I talked about Thump Thump plus Rapid Reload plus this perk. Heave ho equals... I watch a lot of other Fallout content creators, both big and small and anywhere else in between, and even nobodies like me, and the opinion of this perk kind of seems to fall somewhere in the it's complete ass category to the it's decent. But if you actually realize this doesn't just benefit thrown weapons like grenades or spears, but yes, grenade rifles, incinerators, fat mans, and missile launchers, anything that fires a trajectory in an arc benefits from heave ho. And I'm not really entirely sure that this was intended for this perk, but it affects the trajectory and increases the range of these weapons, counting them as thrown. Explosive builds generally are extremely good in Fallout New Vegas. They are really impa, but they're not a build I commonly play. I have played through a couple of explosive builds and had a lot of fun, but it's generally not a build that I'm super familiar with. Nonetheless, this is an extremely underrated perk just due to the lack of knowledge of this hidden power, earning its place comfortably on this list. Moving on to the last perk of this list. Rad Child. This is the most broken perk in the entire game. The criminally underrated Rad Child. This day and age, veterans of this game have given this perk its just desserts. But it's a perk I even slept on for a very long time. You need 70 survival and level 4 for this perk. You can get if you just mass dump a bunch of points into survival very early on, which many veterans do, as this shit is crazy strong. What this perk does is it gives passive healing, so a HOTS effect based on your radiation threshold level. The more radiation you have, the more health it passively heals. Minor rad sickness at 200 plus rads gives plus 2 health per second. Advanced or 400 plus rads gives plus 4 health per second. Critical or 600 plus rads gives 6 health per second. And deadly or 800 plus rads gives the maximum bonus of plus 8 health per second. This is always a perk I saw and never really thought much of it, to be honest, as radiation perks throughout this franchise have historically been pretty fucking bad. Like, they're usually not that good. And this also probably gives credence to why many players, including myself, never gave this perk a shot at all. Just a quick glance and you kind of forget about it. The perfect definition of, I guess, never judge a book by its cover. Like, I'm serious, if you've never tried Radchild, load up New Vegas and give it a shot. It's crazy OP. Like, it's nuts. When I do run Radchild, I personally like the threshold of critical or 600 plus rads, as I feel like this is just enough of a passive healing bonus while also not really having to really deal with my rad management too much if I do enter highly irradiated areas. It gives me some leeway. The easiest way to pick and choose in activating your inner Radchild for me is the bunker dubbed the Hornet's Nest 588, which is often used as a free player housing right by the Yankstee Memorial, which is great for easy fast traveling near the town of Goodsprings. This bunker has a sink that you can drink out of that is extremely irradiated, so you can just drink this and then choose whatever threshold passive healing of radiation suits best for you. This perk is busted, but of course, it doesn't make you like immortal or anything. You're of course still liable to one-shots from things like death claws, enemies stacking power attacks on top of you, and so on and so on. But as long as you can bob and weave or get behind some cover if you're getting rained on by some bullets, as long as you can let your health regen, you can take a breather, you know, you're good. This also stacks of course with stim packs, all food and drinks, chems, and even blood sausages and every other overtime healing effect consumable, adding to its usefulness. This perk also helps you save a lot of things like stim packs that you'll often have a gargantuan fat stack of them. And in some cases, depending on how well you play and the difficulty you're on, you might not even need stim packs at all, letting you just sell them to vendors for some extra caps. I personally don't run this perk anymore because it takes a huge chunk of the difficulty out of the game, but if you get this perk at level 4 and go straight to something like Dead Money, and as you level up in Dead Money, do a melee/unarmed build taking advantage of the Bear Trap Fist and the Knife Spear, you'll be saying the Cloud what? Ghost Harvesters who? Bear Traps? I don't give a outside of the radios popping your heads like a watermelon, this completely neuters the entire DLC of Dead Money. Taking the survival element out of it pretty much, it makes it a joke. This is like definitely a goated perk.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
And it's definitely crazy underrated, just generally speaking. A lot of veterans know how broken this perk is, but a lot of people still sleep on it, which is why it's on this list. It really is a king, fitting of its crown. And that's all I have for you today, Fallout fans. That's 5 underrated Fallout New Vegas perks in my opinion, and it's just my opinion. Do you agree or disagree with anything I said in this video? Let me know down in the comments. And of course, I plan on doing more underrated perks. I'm gonna do the most powerful perks, which there will be some overlap because Radchild will definitely be on that list too. I also plan on doing terrible perks and everything perks in the future. So if you like any of that, consider leaving a like and a sub. But with all that said, I hope to see you in the next one.